There's a stage in infant development around 18 months called the mirror stage. Before it, a child doesn't recognize their reflection as themselves. They see the image the way they see any other object. Interesting, external, separate. Then something shifts. The child looks in the mirror and for the first time says, "That's me." Psychologists treat this as a milestone, but the philosopher Jacques Lacan called it the original misidentification. The moment a child confuses an image for an identity, because the reflection isn't the child. It's flat, reversed, frozen in a surface. And yet, from that moment forward, the child builds their entire sense of self around an image, an external representation that was never the thing it represented. The first act of selfhood is a case of mistaken identity, and every act after it is an attempt to maintain the mistake. You are still standing in front of that mirror. The reflection has gotten more sophisticated. It has a career now, a personality, a set of beliefs, a history that feels continuous and solid. But the fundamental operation is identical to the one that started at 18 months. You looked at something external, declared it was you, and then spent every day since defending, improving, and managing a reflection. The anxiety you carry isn't random. It's the constant maintenance cost of keeping an image coherent in a world that keeps threatening to show you it's only an image. Consider what happens when someone criticizes you. The body reacts before the mind catches up. There's a contraction, a heat, a bracing that isn't proportional to the actual threat. Nobody is in physical danger during an argument, but something feels like it's under attack, and that something is the image. The reflection you've mistaken for yourself is being distorted by someone else's words, and the nervous system responds as though the distortion is a wound. Because if the image is you, then damage to the image is damage to you. The entire emotional architecture of defensiveness, shame, and self-consciousness is built on a confusion that happened before you could speak. And here's the thing that makes the confusion nearly impossible to detect. What's pointed at it with a question that sounds simple and isn't? Can you hear yourself listening? Try it. Try to catch the one who is aware right now, the one behind the thoughts, behind the eyes, the supposed center of your whole experience. Every time you look, there's nothing there. Not nothing as in emptiness or void. Nothing as in the looking and the thing being looked for are the same event. The eye can't see itself. The teeth can't bite themselves. And the self can't find itself, because it isn't an object located somewhere inside the skull. It's a process, a verb pretending to be a noun. And you've been treating that verb as though it were the most solid thing in your life. This is where it gets uncomfortable, because the mind, hearing this, immediately tries to solve it. It says, okay, so the self is an illusion. How do I get past the illusion? And that question is the trap slamming shut again. The I that wants to get past the illusion is the illusion. The escape plan is being drawn by the prisoner, and the prisoner is made of the same material as the walls. Watts called this a double bind, a situation where every move you make to free yourself tightens the constraint, because the one making the move is the constraint. You can't try to be natural. You can't force yourself to let go. The instruction to stop pretending is itself a performance, and the mind, confronted with this, does the only thing it knows how to do. It generates another strategy, another level of analysis, another mirror to stand in front of. Watch what happened when you were told the self is an illusion. A voice inside you either agreed or disagreed. If it agreed, it felt like progress. I understand this now. If it disagreed, it felt like resistance. This doesn't apply to me. Either way, a you showed up to have a position on the matter. The illusion survived by incorporating the information about the illusion into itself. It absorbed the threat and came out the other side wearing new clothes. That's the mechanism. That's why this particular trap has survived 3,000 years of people pointing at it. The pointing gets absorbed. The insight gets filed under things I know about myself. And the self that does the filing is the thing that was supposed to dissolve. There's a reason this can't be taught the way other things are taught. Knowledge operates by adding something to the knower. A fact, a framework, a skill that wasn't there before. This operates by subtraction. There's nothing to add. The whole problem is that there's too much self, too much narrative, too much identity piled on top of an experience that was never asking for a name. A child before the mirror stage doesn't lack anything. They're in full contact with reality, unmediated, undivided, responding to the world without a narrator inserting itself between the sensation and the response. The mirror didn't give the child something. It took something away, direct experience, and replaced it with a symbol of experience. And the symbol has been running the show ever since. The sensation of being trapped in your mind is real, but the one who is trapped is not. That's the knot, the claustrophobia, the spinning thoughts, the feeling of being locked inside your own head with no exit. All of it is genuine experience. And all of it is generated by a process that requires the feeling of a prisoner in order to continue operating. The mind needs you to believe you're inside it, because without a prisoner, there's no prison. Without a self to be stuck, the stuckness has nowhere to land. Watts compared it to a radio that generates static and then tries to tune itself to eliminate the static. The tuning is the static. The search for silence is the noise. You will not think your way through this. That sentence is not a failure. It's the exit. Every other problem in your life can be solved by applying more intelligence, more effort, more strategy. This one can't, because intelligence, effort, and strategy are all products of the thing that's generating the trap. The tool and the obstruction are the same object. And the moment you fully absorb that, not as an idea filed next to other ideas, but as a lived recognition that the one who is looking was never separate from what it sees, the mirror cracks, not dramatically, quietly, the way a dream ends. You don't escape the dream by fighting it. You escape it by recognizing that the dreamer and the dream were never two different things. The child stands in front of the mirror at 18 months and points. That's me. Everything after that is maintenance. The personality, the reputation, the internal monologue that narrates every moment of every day. All of it is maintenance on a misidentification that happened before you had the language to question it. The maintenance feels like life, but the life was already happening before the mirror. And it never stopped. It's happening now, underneath the image, underneath the name, underneath the entire architecture of selfhood that was built on a child's finger pointing at glass. The reflection can't trap you. It never could. It was always just light on a surface. The one who believed it was real is the one who has to look again.